That made his name on hasn't made it on there yet. All right, here we go. New England Friday.
Josh, I know you got a chance to see Darren Waller and Hunter Renfro out there
Yep.
in practice. Is it looking good for to be activated for Sunday?
I think one more day would be good for us. Yesterday was their first time in pads. Being able to come back off of that. Obviously, both of them had an injury, so today will be an important day for us just to see how their body responds to it, and if they're able to, I'd say continue to make progress here as we head towards game day. So today will be a big day, and then we'll have an opportunity to make a good decision. But both guys are trying everything they can do to make sure that they're ready to go. I know they're both chomping at the bit, and we'll see how today goes and then make a good choice.
I don't know if it's a philosophical standpoint, but when guys are returning, when you talk about pitch counts, would you rather, well, if you're going to be on a pitch count, then can't use you on Sunday, you want it to be completely just unabashed as far as?
No, I think whatever we think is the best thing to do for us to have a chance to win whatever game it is. We've had some of those this year where we knew we probably couldn't exceed a certain number of plays, with a specific player or two. And that just gets into, rotational depth and being able to make sure that you can give the guy a break or a blow if that's what it is, and do it proactively. The thing I wouldn't want to do is, go the first 37 plays and then, we're done. You know what I mean? So regardless of who that would be coming off an injury, I think if you're concerned about that, you want to try to do it proactively and get ahead so you have a chance to, complete the game with the player out there too. So that's all part of the equation right now, I'd say, for these guys returning. Nate's was a little different because, thumb, wasn't really affecting, I'd say, cardiovascular and those kind of things. But the guys that have had muscle injuries or those kind of things, it's a little trickier, to manage that.
Josh Jacobs had the hand injury last game. What have you seen from him, and how could that impact maybe catching passes and blitz pickup and that sort of thing in his job?
Yeah, all part of the, we're trying to figure all that out. He's had a good week. We've been smart about, him in general. And he obviously he's played a lot of snaps for us and done a lot of things. In terms of being physical. So. We'll make a good choice on that as well, and try to, if there's something we need to limit, then we'll try to. But right now, he looks like he's going to be able to handle that.
You guys signed Natane Muti straight away to the active roster earlier this week. How's he come along, kind of on short notice, and do you think he'll get
Yeah.
a second?
A very interesting guy. We had, obviously some feeling for him for a while now, and if that situation presented itself on the roster, if we needed to do something like that, we kind of Dave and his crew, Champ, those guys have those lists ready to go at all times if we become shorthanded. So good. Yesterday was a good day for us to be able to see some of those guys, in pads, doing some blocking and those types of things. So excited about working with him for sure. We only have what we have on the roster, so there's a chance that he's going to be active, and if we have to do it in a pinch, then we would. So he's on a crash course right now. That's this time of the year in general with guys that just got added to your football team. We have somebody on the staff that's kind of helping him catch up as much as we can, and he's really doing a good job of cramming. We also have, some other guys on the practice squad that have already been through this. I think that are being very unselfish, with their time, and spending extra time with those guys at night. So, it's being a good teammate.
Jermaine Illuminator has been a bit of a chess piece for you on the offensive line and has played guard. Is there a possibility that could be part of
Yeah,
that?
I mean, he's done it. He's done a lot of things. I mean, he's played on both sides of the line of scrimmage, right and left. He's played tackle. He's played guard. So those players, I would say, just in general terms, they always add more value to your team. Because the more you can do, the more hats they may be able to play, and then it gives you some depth, even though it may not say guard beside his name, you can do that. So, the players that can play center and guard, the players that can play guard and tackle, they're not rare, but they're harder to find. And when you have a handful of them, it just gives you more versatility if you kind of, incur injuries, which everybody does. So Jermaine's been very unselfish with, wherever you want me, coach, I'll go in there and do the best I can. And he has to study at multiple positions, communicate at multiple positions, on both sides of the ball with a lot of different people. So give him a lot of credit for that. And we have a handful of guys that do that. Dylan obviously did it earlier in the year, and Bars has played on both sides. And so the more they can do, the more value they bring.
Josh, your answer all year is stick to the process, but you are human. So going inside the personal side of this weekend, do you enjoy competing against friends? I mean, you have so much respect for Bill. You've praised the Patriots. Is it fun to compete against people you love and care for?
Absolutely. I think that's, that's why we all do this, and competing against people don't mean you have a disdain for them or that kind of stuff. But you can certainly want to beat them, as bad or worse than they want to beat you. I mean, I'm sure as I'm sitting here, that's the way they feel about us. And it's a football game on Sunday. It's really not a reunion. That's not really what this is about. And I think our team has had a great approach to it. There will never be a game that will be about me or some other person specifically. This is about the team, and it's a big game for us, a big game for them. I know the thing that excites me is that, we know what kind of a challenge this will be. In all three phases, they'll be well prepared. They'll be very well coached. They'll do the right things and try to play the game the right way. And that's a great opportunity for us to see where we stand, and we're going to need to do that in all three phases to beat them. So that's exciting. The challenge will be significant, and the competition will be too.
On the back end of that, of course, you're going up against a quarterback who had a Pro Bowl season under you as a rookie. When you put on the tape, what is it about Mac Jones that you appreciate about his game? And without giving away too much, how do you play against a quarterback like that and succeed against him?
Yeah. Mac's very bright. It's hard to fool him. Very accurate, sees things very well. Plays with anticipation in the passing game, has great touch and accuracy. He just, from his college career, what he did there to last year to this year, has a knack for winning, making big plays, continues to fight and press on even when there's some adversity. Very tough, very tough. Stand in there and take a shot in the mouth and keep playing. So got a lot of respect and admiration for him, what he did last year, what he did in college, and then what he's doing this year. Just a solid player in all, every way you want to look at it. He's a solid player at that position. And, it's hard to rattle that kind of a guy. He's just a competitive guy. So we're going to try to do the best we can to play our defense, whatever the call is, the best we can on that snap, and continue to try to do that, make it as hard as we can, as tough as we can. But we know there's going to be some plays, made on both sides of the ball. So we're going to have to keep fighting and keep playing like he will.
Josh, the locker room after the Colts game as compared to after the Rams game was very kind of different in terms of the emotion. But the response after the Colts game was 3 straight wins, playing really good football. Mm-hmm. Is there a way to tell, from a reaction of how guys are going to handle that or bounce back from it?
I don't think predicting it is something that, I haven't thought a whole lot about it, and I don't think that's really something that is necessary. Honestly, I think we're around each other every day. So you get the sense of a football team that's committed to trying to do everything we can to help ourselves give ourselves the best chance to win. They've done it all year. So we've had our share of adversities, as you guys know, and I think our leadership has been great. Our captains have been phenomenal, and so I think that's something that's, we're leaning on that. We've leaned on it all year. And I think our guys have practiced this week with the same energy, effort, execution, detail. They want to do it right. Their intentions are great. So I don't really worry about them, because I think, like I said, we have a high character locker room.
How does the league inform you guys about the kickoff thing? Do they just send a letter, or is there a memo, or somebody call you? How does that work?
Yep. They sent a memo. It wasn't like it just was there's a rule, but I would say, again, we communicated very clearly prior to that. we asked the questions that we needed to ask because the clarification a handful of weeks ago was that you were actually able to do that, because there was a little gray in the rule and all that. So we were just checking with that, and honestly thought more people would do it, and so the rule as it is now is what it should be, and so I think we were just using it because if that was what was going to be able to be used, we were going to try to do it if that helped us. So no qualms with it at all. What they did, they clarified it, and we'll do what we plan on doing.
You feel like that's kind of a sign that the NFL just wants more kickbacks? Touchbacks.
Touchbacks.
Rather than.
I don't really. I mean, again, I don't get into clarifications or predicting what their reasoning was. I know we're obviously trying to make the game as safe as possible. So if that's what it is, then that's great. I think it was just a gray area within the rule.
That's all good.
One other thing, I think this is great. Our captains brought this up today, and based on he didn't have a full off season, all the rest of it, but through his leadership, his commitment, his effort, his unselfishness, his willingness to do whatever is asked to help the team win, I'd say his recovery, his rehab, his ability to stay out there on the field and do that, our captains mandated that Josh Jacobs join them. So he will be a captain moving forward, and I'm proud of him for doing that. So just want to let you guys know that. Okay? Good to go? You got it.